Hi everyone, I'm Kevin Frolke. I'm an AWS Principal Account Manager supporting our work at CMS, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. I'm joined here by Steve Veneruso with Ventech and Ken Howard with CMS CCSQ, which is the Center for Clinical Standards and Quality. Thanks both for being here. I wanted to ask you a little bit, if you could talk about CCSQ, what are some of the challenges that you were facing and some of the ways that you were able to get through those challenges?
About 4 or 5 years ago, we were 100% traditional on-prem hardware services, all managed and maintained by a central entity, Ventech. We acknowledged the maintenance, operations, improvements of that environment was becoming more and more of a challenge as we grew with our technology, as we grew with the federal requirements and the quality programs that we support, that it was almost becoming unsustainable with hardware maintenance and patching and service uptime of our environment.
Steve, as an AWS partner, how were you able to work with CCSQ to help them solve these issues?
We sat down and had long conversations about governance. We reestablished from the ground up, based on agile practices, and really moving more towards trust but verify model for the application developing organizations, right? So that we would partner with Ken, our security team, our infrastructure team, with Ken to make sure that they were abiding by all federal regulations, and there are a lot of federal regulations, but also freeing them from a lot of the constraints, a lot of the touch points, a lot of the handoffs, right, that really used to drag programs from what should be days into many, many months.
Ken, what would you say are some of the benefits you've been able to see by doing your migration this way?
Oh my goodness, too numerous to list. We took the opportunity of what the cloud offered us, the speed at which the cloud allowed us to adapt and adjust and pilot and test and circle, right? Continue that life cycle to improve our actual development processes, procedures, standards. We wrote everything right from the start. So it wasn't just a lift and shift. We didn't just compartmentalize. We actually re-engineered, re-architected to get to a cloud-centric world intentionally. The bureaucracy, the governance, the oversight was very monolithic. That was the adjustment we had to do. What was enough governance, enough oversight in what we did that still led us to a safe, secure, and performant world with our technology. We were able to, over time, adjust that very effectively. We've gotten to a very light-handed governance approach, again, with executive buy-in, with the value on the deliverable and not on the process was a key part of that success. And without universal support, we would have never gotten there.
Steve, what were some of the practices that Ventech employed to be able to drive the results at CCSQ?
I do a bit of woodworking, right? And anytime you're re-engineering processes, especially at this tremendous scale that CCSQ is doing, you have to measure 3 times and cut once, right? Yep. And so despite the fact that we have our own very experienced, very seasoned, very certified staff, it was an excellent opportunity to be able to reach back into AWS. The expertise there, what they're seeing other agencies do that abide, so to validate architecture and engineering, but as well as processes, and really getting that roadmap of the future technologies that AWS was planning to add so that we can bring that back to Ken and his team, as well as application developers, so we could develop a pipeline, not just for the initial start state of the migration, but really, as we're doing that, the application developers could start layering in what their future releases would look like on the future technologies. One of the things that during the migration that we've been able to achieve is tremendous increase in our security posture, right? In the old on-prem world, patch releases cycles were a month, even 6 weeks, which is very, very slow, right, in the modern world. 0 days come out almost every day. This has got to get in. So the velocity of the patch cycles really shifting that left into the application developer so that they can promote those fully patched AMIs and all of the other tools throughout the system, that's really enabled the organization to improve the security posture.
I wanted to thank you both for being here today, sharing this great success story of working with the AWS Cloud. We very much appreciate your partnership and look forward to more success in the future.